This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
Sri Lanka to release the 23 Tamil fishermen who were taken into judicial custody for trespassing into their waters. Indian Navy will have the custody by tomorrow morning. The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court allows the CBI to appeal in the Dinakaran office attack case. The agency had delayed appeal by 118 days. France's top car manufacturer Peugeot comes to Chennai to launch a full-fledged manufacturing plant. Amma assures full support. The young woman victim of a country bomb blast in Puducherry succumbs to her injuries. Police arrest a man and suspect romantic links. Jaya TV's William Ravi Bernard is AIADMK's nominee for the Rajya Sabha election for the single seat scheduled on the 22nd of July. And all is not well when it comes to our good old MTC buses, some rickety and some even posing a threat to passengers like you and me. Good evening. This is Headlines Now on Ndtv-Hindu. I'm Evelyn Matthew. This Wednesday evening brings Tamil Nadu a bag of goodies with it. A much-awaited homecoming of 23 fishermen. That was long waited for 9 long days, that was. But that came along with another of the automobile greats entering Tamil Nadu. That's Peugeot. That's making a grand entrance into a city that's no stranger to speed and wheels. Lots more, but that's after the national headlines. No objection to younger people taking over the party or the government, but for now I have a job to do, the Prime Minister tells editors. Anna Hazare wants Dr. Singh to convince the government on bringing the Prime Minister under the Lokpal. Anna meets Sonia Gandhi tomorrow. The BJP launches a scathing attack on the Prime Minister, asks him to explain the government's stand against Baba Ramdev. Both sides claim the upper hand after Supreme Court orders Mamata Banerjee not to return Tata's single land of farmers. No threat to India's clean waiver from the NSG, says the Finance Minister, adds America must honour its commitments. NATO helicopters end Kabul's hotel siege hours after Taliban militants stormed into the Intercontinental Hotel and set it on fire. And Google now takes on Facebook with its own social networking service called Google+. Some good news has finally reached the families of the 23 fishermen from Tamil Nadu who were until now in Sri Lankan Navy's custody for trespassing into the island nation's waters. Sri Lanka has decided to release the fishermen who were arrested 9 days ago, and the Sri Lankan Deputy High Commission in the city has confirmed this. The 23 fishermen are expected to be handed over to the Indian Navy tomorrow morning. This comes after the Chief Minister, Ms. Jayalalitha, had written to the Prime Minister and had even spoken to the National Security Advisor, Mr. Shiv Shankar Menon, to intervene in this issue. In other news making headlines, the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court has allowed the CBI to file an appeal in the Dinakaran newspaper office attack case. 3 workers of the Maran brothers-owned daily were burnt alive way back in 2007, allegedly by supporters of MK Arigiri after a survey report was published. All the 17 accused, including a deputy superintendent of police, were acquitted. The CBI had delayed the appeal by 118 days. This issue had led to even a family feud between the DMK chief and the Maran brothers then. It was then that Dayanidhi Maran was forced to resign during his earlier innings as Union IT Minister. And senior correspondent with NDTV 24/7, Sam Daniel, gave us more about the implications of this order that's come up as a development today.
That time when the CBI failed to file an appeal in the Madras High Court Madurai bench, at that time there was criticism that the court was actually helping the DMK at that time, which was in power, but now it has opened a fresh avenue for the CBI to make sure that those who were responsible for the killing of those 3 workers of the Dinakaran newspaper to be brought to justice. And it's a ray of hope for those families, in fact. But now the big question is, so much has changed now, because at that time the DMK was in power. The family feud had forced Dayanidhi Maran to resign from his cabinet position as Union IT Minister. But now all have changed. the families have patched up, and here there's been a change in God. So the big question is, will the CBI now be able to really nail those who have been responsible for those killing of those 3 innocent lives? That's a big question. And at that time, of course, it was a huge thing, because the root cause was that particular controversial newspaper article published by the Dinakaran, owned by the Maran brothers, which had projected M.K. Alagri in very poor light, saying he was less popular than his younger brother M.K. Stalin, and all those 17 people except for one DSP are alleged to be very close to M.K. Alagri. In fact, there is one who was also holding a public office at that time, and the delay at that point in time was attributed to the CBI, in a kind of a tacit help to the DMK members who were actually acquitted by the lower court. Now the big question is, will those responsible for that burning or killing of those 3 workers be brought to justice?
Moving on, in what could be a sharp mid-career shift from a career in television to sitting among the House of Elders, A. William Rabi Bernard has been selected as the Rajya Sabha nominee of the AIADMK. The Chief Minister, Ms. Jayalalitha, made this announcement today. Mr. Bernard is an anchor and a journalist associated with Jaya Television and has also been with various other media houses before even joining the AIADMK. He will replace Mr. K.V. Ramalingam, who's become the state's PWD minister. The election for the single-seat Rajya Sabha seat, in fact, will take place on the 22nd of July. Now, sharing the same story but to a different path entirely is another man who was also a journalist until 3 months ago, when Subramani spent his day observing and analyzing judgments and filing reports for a leading news daily. Today, Mr. Subramani has traded his pen for the black robe, and he tells Janani Sampath that as an advocate of the Madras High Court, he gets to see law from a different angle. 18 years ago, he tasted the power of the pen when he began working in a newspaper in Madurai. But by next year, he had enrolled at the Government Law College, Madurai, to know the nitty-gritty of the subject before embarking on a career as a legal correspondent.
I became a journalist in '93 and joined this law course in '94. The intention was, as and when I become a legal correspondent, a law degree will be of some help.
April the 15th, 2008 was a high point in his career as a journalist. The whole world woke up to his story on the secret meeting between Nalini and Priyanka Gandhi way back in March that year. A high-profile daughter meeting one closely associated with her father's assassination.
Whole month, nobody in Tamil Nadu, nobody in India, no one knew the fact that she visited Vellore prison. As a hobby beat, I used to do prison stories also. Then I inquired, why should she, even at that time, we didn't know Nalini is there. Why should she go to prison? Then my sources told me, no, Nalini is there. Then things started falling in place.
Within 3 years, Mani decided to leave the glamorous field aside and turn to a sober career in law.
You see, every profession has the ethics, professional ethics. As a journalist, I needed to be as unbiased, as neutral as possible. You are free to choose a case, but once you choose a case, you are answerable to the client.
In Chennai, with Janani Sampath, Evelyn Matthew for Ndtv-Hindu. Some tragic news from the Union Territory of Puducherry. The young woman victim of the country bomb blast has died. She succumbed to her injuries after a tough battle for her life today. The woman sustained her injuries when she had opened a parcel which was believed to be from her father, and then within seconds a country-made bomb in the parcel had exploded. The police had arrested a 32-year-old man late last night in connection with this. The Pondicherry police also suspect the development of a new love interest angle. Now let's get you that bit of good news for Tamil Nadu. Sitting on the title of Detroit of India, wrestled away from the likes of Pune, Chennai is fast emerging as the go-to destination for auto manufacturing. With European auto majors making a beeline for the city, the French PSA Peugeot Citroën steps on the gas.
bienvenue or welcome in French. That's how the new government is welcoming in 4,000 crore rupees of investment courtesy of French auto major PSA Peugeot Citroën. A high-level delegation from the $67 billion auto heavyweight met with the Chief Minister Jayalalitha to finalize plans. Peugeot plans to set up a manufacturing plant in Sriperumbudur on the outskirts of Chennai. When commissioned, the plant will roll out 3 lakh cars per year. Outside of the 4,000 crore rupees in FDI, the plant will provide employment opportunities. 5,000 people will be directly absorbed, while 15,000 will benefit indirectly. Analysts also expect the plant to attract French auto ancillaries to set up shop here.
Now, since the entry of Ford in the year 1995, facilitated by Jayalalitha, Chennai has emerged as an automotive hub. Since then, fast forward to the year 2011, and we find that 7 out of the top 20 companies across the world have called Chennai their home. Now, experts warn that if this upward trajectory has to be maintained, power, labour and infrastructure support is critical. In Chennai, with Peer Mohammed, this is Ashmit Kumar for NDTV-Hindu.
When we come back on headlines now, is wiping off the dust and the rot from our grand old MTC buses going to save us from the death on wheels that we ride every day? Find out when we come back.